Hello. Okay, so I have been gone for a hot minute, but that's because I had top surgery. I know, that was beautiful. So for the last month, I have been laying in bed, slowly getting back to work, and hanging out with a bunch of friends because I've had nothing else to do for a month. Yeah, so I'm pretty much, for this video, I'm gonna walk you through a little bit like where we went, what my surgery was like, how long it took, how the week was after that, and where I've gotten up to now. And then I'm gonna strip. I'm not actually gonna strip. I'm gonna take my shirt off and show my, I don't really have scars. I'll show my chest. Okay, so the night before my surgery, so June 7th, we drove down to Oneonta and we stayed in a motel overnight, and we had really good Chinese food. But yeah, that was pretty much all we did that night. So yeah, the morning of my surgery was scheduled for 8 o'clock, so we got there about like 6:45. I had to go in, get registered, do a bunch of paperwork. Then I got into one of those lovely surgery gowns and laid in bed for like an hour. In that hour, they gave me an IV, which surprisingly didn't hurt like at all. I didn't even feel it, so that was really cool. And I talked to my anesthesiologist. My surgeon came in to talk to me right before going in. I had a bunch of nurses going through, checking like all my vitals and blah blah blah. And yeah, then we just waited around until 8 o'clock. Once 8 o'clock came around, my surgeon jumped back in and said, okay, we're getting ready to go into surgery. I said goodbye to my mom, and they put this giant hairnet thing on me. Yep, so that was me right before going into surgery, and yeah. So I went into surgery. They gave me a little injection thing like right before I left. They put this medicine into my IV, and it works in like 0.4 seconds. All of a sudden I was super sleepy and like really out of it. So I went into the room, scooched over onto the operation table, then spread my arms out like this and lay down on the table, and then they like wrapped my arm around the thing so I wouldn't move, I guess. And I made a request. Okay, so obviously I love Ed Sheeran, and I told the doctor that I wanted to listen to Ed Sheeran going into my surgery. So they played Ed Sheeran on Spotify while they did my surgery. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, so then what happened? Oh, so the guy came over, my anesthesiologist, and he put the mask on my face. He's like, all right, we're gonna start giving you the anesthesia, and so like take a couple deep breaths. I literally took 2 deep breaths and was out. Like that was it. I'm done. Next thing I knew, I woke up in recovery. So this is me. Right after surgery, so I had those like, you see them hanging out of my thing, they're called drains. So I had them in my sides, and I have scars there too that I'll show you. But yeah, then that was it. I came out, was in recovery. I didn't have any feeling in my chest whatsoever. I couldn't feel this, like nothing, no feeling whatsoever. And for the first little bit, I was fine. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like, I finally had my surgery. And then a car ride home happened, and I started getting, like, really uncomfortable. Not just, like, because I was in pain. So I took pain meds, and for the next week, I laid on my couch. And I lived on my couch and did nothing. Couldn't sit up by myself. Couldn't really stand up by myself until, like, the last 2 days before getting my drains out. And I hated it because I couldn't do anything. Like, I couldn't do anything for myself. I couldn't even get up to make food, so I had to like wait for my mom to come home. But I was sleeping all the time anyway, so it was fine. I watched a lot of Netflix. I caught up on all the shows that I watched. That was cool. Yeah, so that was pretty much, that's the gist of it. I did change my bandages, and this is my chest. 2 days after post-op. So the first time I got to change my bandages. And changing my bandages was really nerve-wracking just because I didn't know what to expect, and I had a bunch of friends there that wanted to be there to see like the big reveal. And one of my friends actually started crying because she was so happy for me, and that was really sweet. So I had another one of my friends and her mother come over, who used to be a nurse's aide, come, and she like took the ace bandage off that was around me and then helped me take my bandages off. And again, I couldn't feel anything. Like, I had no idea what she was doing. So she took the bandages off, and I saw my chest for the first time, and I didn't cry, but I was freaking out. And I hadn't really eaten that day either, and I almost passed out. So that was great. But definitely the worst part of the first week after surgery was the drains. So after a week, I got to go get them pulled out of me. And this was the thing that was laying inside of me. It was ridiculous, okay? And that hurt like a bitch. She had to pull that out of my side. And the hole was like, you could probably like fit a pen in my side, max. Like, that's how small the hole was. So she had to squeeze this thing and pull it out of my side, and it hurt so much. So yeah, the worst part was definitely having the drains in. They were really uncomfortable. I could kind of like feel them sitting in my chest. I could only feel like the pressure though, because again, my skin was numb. And I think probably like the second night that I had my drains, my right one came out of my side. Like, obviously they can't come out all the way unless you pull them out. But the stitching came undone and it came out of my side probably about that much on that side. So it was really uncomfortable. That my skin was really like irritated just from it moving, and it definitely, like, the suction part was sitting on the side instead of underneath like it was supposed to be, and that was just really uncomfortable. And every day that I had the drains in, I had to empty the like grenade looking things 3 times. So when I woke up in the morning, and then like when my mom got home from work, and right before I went to bed, I had to measure all the liquid that was coming out of it to make sure that it was draining correctly, and that was pretty nasty. And then we flushed it down the toilet, so that was a time. But yeah, my family was really great about helping me out, and I'm super thankful to have had them help me get through that first week. But at the end of that week, I drove up to my doctor in Saranac Lake, and I laid down on the table, and she took the stitches out, pulled it out of my side, boom, that was the appointment. It did hurt a lot though. I don't know, I'm not sure why it hurt so much, because like again, the area was pretty numb, but it hurt. That's honestly some of the worst pain that I had felt. Again, I'm not really sure why. I was talking to somebody else who just had his drains out like 2 days before I had mine out, and he was like, oh, it just feels like somebody pulls real quick on your arm, and that was it was done. But yeah, it did not work that way for me. So after that, I had steri strips on my sides, which are almost like sticky stitches, I guess, that you just put on the outside, and it like pulls your skin together. So I had those until they fell off, and now I just have little tiny scars on the sides of where they were. Yeah, and I started showering after that. I have been practicing my working on my range of motion, which generally is pretty good. It starts to get a little tight once I get up here, but like I can reach all the way across, all the way back. Straight up is good too. Yeah, so generally my range of motion is back. It came back quicker for me than it would other people, just because I did have peri, and it's a smaller, like less invasive surgery. I don't have the big scars underneath. Yeah, so that was pretty much that. Side note, tip. Good advice, I guess, for others having surgery. Listen to your doctor and do not go back to work until they tell you. I wasn't supposed to go back from 4 to 6 weeks. 2 weeks after surgery, I went down to New York City and did a cheese show. It's called the Fancy Food Show, and I was working there. And I didn't really have to lift anything, but I was definitely sore from being on my feet all the time. And then when I came back from New York City, I worked half a day at the farm that I work at, and I was so tired. I hadn't been used to working, my chest got really sore. Yeah, my left side swelled up again, and then my right side just ached. And I was so tired of laying around and doing nothing and not being able to work, and it was not good for me to go back early. So then I waited my full 4 weeks, which was this past Thursday, and I worked a little bit this past week, and it's definitely better than it was. I did injure myself. Okay, so he said 4 to 6 weeks, so I was like, oh, 4 weeks, I'm gonna do whatever I want to. Bad idea. I tried to lift a giant tray above my head, and I pulled one of my stitches on this side, and like it bled, and then it scabbed over and stuff, and it's fine now, and I'm glad that's all that happened and it wasn't anything worse. But I really should have listened to my doctor the way that I should have. So like, yeah, note to self, doctors know what they're doing sometimes. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna take my shirt off and show you my chest. Here it is. So like you can kind of see the scars around the outside, and like on this part you can see right there, that's where like my stitch broke, and now there's like a weird scab thing. But yeah, this is what my chest looks like. And on the side, like you can kind of see there's still slight swelling around the outsides, around them. But yeah, and then this is like my scar from the one drain, and this is my scar on the other side from the other drain, and this one looks worse, and this is the side where the drain like pulled out. But yeah, this is what my chest looks like. I'm generally like really happy with it. It's kind of, they're kind of like, my nips are kind of ovular, not a circle, which is whatever, like, it happens. But you can still kind of see the scarring around the outside, which will fade, and there's like scar cream that you can put on it to make it go away. But yeah, I think it turned out really well. I'm super happy about it, and like, yesterday I was at the pool with all my friends, and I got to take my shirt off and go swimming and stuff, and I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell that I have a sunburn like across my shoulders and my chest and stuff like that. But like, I've never had that before. I've never been able to. I've never like been in a pool without my shirt on. It was it was just so cool, and we got to like lay outside in the sun, and I got to have my shirt off the whole time, and I've never been able to do that before. And I seriously, like, I'm just so happy to be where I am. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you have any questions, DM me on my Instagram, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, follow me with my notifications. Thank you so much. Signing off.